on TV. I'm not a lawyer, tax specialist, accountant, and even if I was, I'm not yours. So please do your own research. Please speak to professionals hired to look out for your specific needs and circumstances. Also, please keep in mind that this presentation will be colored by my experiences and observations over the last 8+ years participating in blockchain and cryptocurrency. So who is the Guap Foundation? The Guap Foundation is a Georgia State nonprofit that is on a mission to serve as cryptocurrency champions of our community. The Guap Foundation leverages blockchain technology, Guap Coin specifically, our multi-tiered educational program, which covers technology, finance, and occupational trades, as well as grants to advance businesses, community economics, and to build a strong foundation for long-term economic wealth. By economically empowering businesses and individuals, we strengthen generations to come. This year, we at the Guap Foundation gave our first grant to a member, merchant, and software developer within the Guap community. This grant supported a gaming project that utilizes Guap Coin and the brand Guap Coin for its games. We understand that the foundation is a bridge to communities grasping and navigating the new technological landscape and virtual world we are currently in. We will continue to serve as a bridge to gap these education, and we will continue to serve as a bridge to these gaps within the educational understanding about cryptocurrency, blockchain. We will continue to offer resources from the Guap Foundation to our communities. So what is cryptocurrency? I'm sure some of you are asking. As I said, I'm going to try to keep this simple and high level. So cryptocurrency is a virtual currency that is secured by what is called cryptography. That's where the name cryptocurrency comes from. Cryptography is just encrypted data. This makes it nearly impossible to counterfeit cryptocurrency or double spend it. Many current cryptocurrencies are decentralized networks built on blockchain technology. What is blockchain, you ask? The simple version of what is blockchain is it's a record of entries. These entries are usually debits and credits. The recording of these debits and credits create what's called a ledger. A ledger is like a digital version of a checkbook register, if you remember those. Let me give you another example. A very common and often overlooked ledger system is the private recording of credits and debits and transactions that financial institutions like banks are responsible for. We're all familiar with that. So in essence, the blockchain is not new. Up until 2009, with the introduction of blockchain to the masses by way of Bitcoin, blockchain ledgers were just private and centralized, operating in the background of our lives. I've used the word decentralized a few times, so let me define it for you. Decentralized means data or information, these debits and credits, these entries on the blockchain are dispersed to various computers. These computers are owned and operated by individuals. For the purpose of this presentation, we're just going to say individuals. Definitely there are institutions and monopolies that have entered this space, but we want to keep this very simple. This data that has been dispersed to these computers is constantly being backed up and checked for consensus. Consensus comes from other computers on the network reporting the same information. I'm going to give you an example of what that looks like. So most of us have received the local newspaper. It usually in my neighborhood arrives on Wednesday, and it's called a penny saver. And in it, it has some local news, mostly merchants listing information about their businesses. It has the grocery flyers, what's on sale, the sale of the week, right? At whatever brand name store that's in your neighborhood. This newspaper and its flyers are delivered to every house in the neighborhood. You usually see it on the step, maybe in your driveway, on your front lawn. So we're going to say that the disbursement of the newspapers, right, is the decentralized nature that we're speaking of. And we're going to say that the home is the computer, right? So the newspaper is dispersed. That's the way it's delivered. The information, the data is actually the newspaper. And we're going to say that the home is the computer. Okay. So every home, every computer has that information, that data packet. Now imagine you get your newspaper and your neighbor calls you and just talking about the different sales that are in the newspaper at XYZ store. And, Janet might say, hey, they having a sale on tangerines, 4 tangerines for $1. That's a bargain. And you're like, yeah. And then you might say, Felicia, a couple of blocks over, called me this morning and she told me XYZ store has seeded watermelons. And she's like, yeah, I see that in this, penny saver. So as I've mentioned, that is the computers, right? Talking to each other, confirming data. And that's basically how the blockchain works. Everyone has the same information. And if that information is not confirmed by the majority of the network, it's rejected. Really simple. In order for that information to be changed or disappear from that, penny saver, every penny saver in the neighborhood would need to be collected. What is the likelihood of that happening? It's not, right? That's the beauty of a decentralized network, especially when speaking specifically about the blockchain portion of it. The word decentralized is used not just for the blockchain, but it's also used for community. In this example, I'm speaking specifically about the blockchain. It's also a form of security having this disbursement of the same information being backed up on several computers. So I hope you guys understand decentralized. I can definitely answer some more questions about that later when we get to the Q&A section. So let's compare centralized to decentralized. Decentralized is dispersed. Centralized is not dispersed. It is one authority. It's usually on one computer with one access. And I don't want to say it's just on one computer because if I'm a bank, I have backups, but you don't have access to that information. It can be public sometimes in a centralized situation. However, it's definitely covered by a central authority. Usually, not always, centralized is private. There's also what's called hybrid blockchains, and that uses a combination of both centralized and decentralized. Some parts of it is possibly private. Definitely the control, what is happening comes from a central authority. How's everyone doing so far? If you can definitely drop 3s in the chat so I know that you're following along. I'm going to see if I can open up this chat.
So people are saying that you're doing good. All good.
Okay. And you guys can hear me well. Okay, perfect. All right. So we understand the nature of decentralized, centralized, and what is hybrid. So there's so many different types of projects, some of them centralized, some decentralized, some currencies, some not currencies. For the purpose of this presentation, I'm going to be speaking to the decentralized space. I'm going to be speaking to the currency space of it, the money, right? The coin, the moolah, the dinero. Okay. So, what is money? What makes money money? Money is generally accepted, recognized as a medium of exchange in an economy that facilitates transactions for transactional trades for goods and services, right? I want something that you have. I will provide you with money, a recognized value that you set for that thing. The thing about money is that it eliminates some of the issues that can be present when you're dealing with bartering. Money has taken on several forms throughout the ages. We've had commodities like gold and silver used as money. We've had beads used as money, cowrie shells, conch shells, the ones that you listen to and hear at the ocean. They've all been used as money. Paper money, often referred to as greenbacks, is what we recognize, right? It's made in the United States, it's called USD. In Europe, they have the euro or they have the GBP, which is the British pound. We also now have digital money, right? That is your Cash Apps, your PayPal, your ACHs. We've been in a digital world for some time now. And now we have virtual forms of money, and that's cryptocurrency, right? A recognized medium of exchange. Money has three functions. I do want you to keep this in mind: a store of value, a unit of accounting, and a medium of exchange. Right? In order for it to be money, it has these properties, like it can't be able to be counterfeited, it has to be portable, things of that nature, and recognized by the other party as value. So these are just some simple things, very high level about what money is. So what is Guap coin, right? Guap coin checks the box. Some of the boxes that we talked about. It's a cryptocurrency, check. It's on its own blockchain, check. It's to get into the technology of it, it is technically a software fork, right, of Bitcoin. We use the same protocol as Bitcoin. There are many projects that have come down the line since Bitcoin, one of them being Pivex, which is a software fork of Bitcoin, and we are a software fork of Pivex. We are what's called proof of stake. I don't want to get too much into the technical sides of things, but proof of stake is just a way that the consensus happens. It doesn't use a lot of computing power. It doesn't use a lot of electricity, but it does use computing power. It's something that can be done from a laptop. It's really simple. Again, Guap coin is a recognized medium of exchange for goods and services. It can be sent from wallet to wallet across borders without permission, and it doesn't use a central bank's clearinghouse. Okay. One of the great things about Guap coin or cryptocurrencies in general is that not only is it money, right? It's the medium of exchange, but the wallets, and we're going to get into those more later, is actually what sends it, right? So you don't have to use this third party Cash App or PayPal or, go to your bank and ask them to send it. You can actually do that right from your crypto wallet. So let's talk about the founder of Guap coin. Guap coin was founded in 2017. Savannah is a software developer. She's an engineer, data analyst, mom of 8. She's been in the tech field for over 20 years. She's also a celebrity cardiologist known as Aquarius Maximus. And that's actually how I knew Tavana. Tavana and I have been Facebook friends for several years prior to Guap Coin. I knew her as this cardologist and astrologer. And then in 2017, she was rolling out Guap Coin. And I had already been in the crypto space and I was very interested. Okay. So this is just a little bit about Savannah. Guapcoin appeals to a wide variety of audiences, especially audiences that it seeks to include that seeks inclusion and diversity. And that's from Glamour magazine in 2018. What I'm showing you right now is a snippet of our white paper. And a white paper is just a document that provides technical information and a roadmap of a crypto project. I want to highlight the first two paragraphs that you can see on the screen. And it speaks to Guapcoin having a plan to recycle wealth within the Black community. The key is blockchain technology. Utilizing blockchain and cryptocurrency, Guap can solve the problem of the disappearing dollar in unbanked and underbanked communities, particularly communities of color. Our platform empowers community businesses and merchants to accept cryptocurrency and enable them to thrive from a loyal customer base, which takes pride in supporting businesses that prioritize building economic strength in their community. Our mission is to create a new statistic, one that accurately reflects economic growth, resiliency, entrepreneurship, in entrepreneurship in Black and Brown communities. You may have heard about how long currency stays within the Black and Brown communities. Some people say 30 minutes, some people say 6 minutes. What I do know is that as virtual currency continues to take hold, as we grow in the digital world, that 30 minutes, that 66 minutes could easily become 60 seconds. That is the importance and what drives me here at the Guap Foundation, and I could say many of our colleagues, is that we understand what's happening with the dollars in our community. They're usually come in and they go right out. Guap will accelerate Buy Black and the Black Wall Street movements. You've probably heard of the Buy Black movement, many different instances over the years. There have been initiatives to keep the dollar within Black communities, purchasing from Black businesses, as well as the Black Wall Street is everywhere and being used in so many different ways. But if you understand what Tulsa, Oklahoma and the Black Wall Street was about, it was about building a community that was interdependent on itself, not necessarily on outside communities. It had all of the goods and services, the verticals that was required for a thriving community. Guap has the potential to expand Black Wall Street beyond the success it saw in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and other places like Rosewood, Harlem. Through the use of blockchain technology, the Guap network will aid in the effort to democratize access to wealth and provide a vehicle to financial freedom from traditionally marginalized groups who find themselves unbanked, underbanked, and shut out our traditional financial institutions and services. Guap is bigger than being a virtual currency. It's a movement that brings change for our community. Guap is social and economic impact. Guap is a complementary currency. This is another page from our white paper that speaks to complementary currencies. In short, a complementary currency is understood as a monetary instrument, a medium of exchange, created and used by communities, groups, and individuals to facilitate the exchange of value for goods and services, right? Complementary currencies run in tandem to a fiat currency. I mentioned fiat currencies is government issues greenbacks, AKA money, USD, the American dollar, GBP, the British pound, JMD, the Jamaican dollar, right? These are examples of recognized fiats. Guap is a complementary or alternative currency, if you will, that we want to be circulated and we want to keep in circulation. Exchange it for goods and services. You can learn more about Guapcoin at guapcoin.org or through our videos and education that we have at the Guap Academy, which is guapacademy.org. I want to dive into Guap's use case. At the center of Guap's use case is Guap's merchants. It goes hand in hand with our community overall, right? Building a community where people have the ability to exchange their Guap coin for goods and services so that they can live their everyday lives the same way we utilize the US dollar or whatever currency you currently use. Guap coin is our medium of exchange built by us, for us, to empower us. It's used to build and expand communities, like I spoke about, like the Black Wall Street that is self-sustaining, interdependent, and successful. We must be in control of our currency and our data to make that happen. With Guap being on its own blockchain, we are in control of our own data. With Guapcoin being a decentralized community, with governance coming from the community, and masternode holders, that's the governing body. Krishna mentioned masternodes at the beginning of this conversation, and I will get into that more at the end. So being that we have this, we are in control of our own destiny. Masternodes are like the homes that we talked about earlier. That's where the data and packets are stored and distributed. It's also a treasury. It's what creates the actual Guap coin. But we're not going to dive too deep into the masternodes now. We're going to get into our core group, our central use case, and that is the merchants. There's a benefit to being a Guap merchant and being in the Guap coin ecosystem. There's community, a unique community at that is empowered and enthusiastic about spending, if you will, the real Black dollar. You will be amongst merchants globally that accept cryptocurrency as a form of payment. You can conduct business cross-border with ease and relatively low cost. I don't know about you, but I am not a fan of sending money abroad. It's usually a process. It's usually expensive. If you can't use something like a Western Union, then it requires a wire. That takes time, paperwork. With having a cryptocurrency like Guapcoin, having that wallet, remember, not only do you have the value, the currency, you also have the ability to make the exchange without anyone's permission, without clearing a central bank. It's borderless. Guap is also really fast to move, unlike a Bitcoin or Ethereum, and it's actually relatively inexpensive, like really inexpensive, especially when you compare it to known cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ethereum. You also get to be a part of special events like Guap Fridays. Guap Fridays is Guapcoin's Black Friday. Again, you get to be key in horsing the disappearing dollar that I spoke of earlier in Black and Brown communities. Guapcoin is on its own blockchain, as I stated, and as we continue to grow, you will have access to enhanced analytics as a merchant, a part of our ecosystem. And there's so much more. We're just getting started here at GuapCoin, even though we've been around since 2017. Cryptocurrencies and communities, they take time to build. Tech and applications that the community use are built on top of that. And that's a back and forth, right? What are the community's needs that allow us to then meet those needs by creating those softwares and getting us on more exchanges and the analytics, let's say, for merchants, all of the various aspects that make that community unique. We also have merchant education that can be found at Guap Academy, which I mentioned earlier, or you can always reach out to the foundation and book one of us to come in and do a presentation for you live. I'm sure you're wondering, how do I become a Guap merchant? It's some simple steps. Let's review them. Step one, download a wallet. Now, I'm going to say whether you're a merchant or an individual, download a wallet. Okay. You would go to guapcoin.org. You see the 3 lines right here. You're going to click on those, and it's going to take you here to wallets. So let's review some things about what a wallet really is. Okay, a wallet allows you to send and receive funds without a third party or middleman, right? It's permissionless and it's borderless, as I mentioned. There are different types of wallets, which I'll show you. We're going to keep this really simple and really high level. There's a desktop wallet, which I will actually show you a desktop wallet before the end of this presentation. It actually has a master node in it that recently went online. There are mobile wallets, iOS and Android. You can find them at the Apple Store on your phone or your tablet. You can find your Android wallet at the Play Store. Download them. There is a multi-wallet that has the ability to house Bitcoin and Guapcoin. And there's a reason for that, which we'll go over a little later. They're paper wallets, really secure. And then there are hard wallets or hardware wallets. They look like small USB drives that you keep offline. This is a great way to keep crypto that you're holding. There are some newer hardware wallets that you can actually use that allow you to have access in real time, if you will, with exchanges. But for the most part, hardware wallets is what's called cold storage or offline storage. It's a way that you can store cryptos that you're not using. Guap will be integrated within a hardware wallet shortly. Okay. I do recommend that, especially if you are a merchant, right? And or even as an individual, you want to store your information in a safe, right? So if you have a hardware wallet, put it in a safe. You want it in a fireproof state. Okay. Some things that I want you to note about wallets is that, for example, when you go to the Play Store to download your iOS or Apple or Android wallet, the multi wallet that we provide has an over the air password. So it's pretty similar to logging into your Gmail account. However, our previous or predecessor to that wallet required you to use seed phrases, and most wallets do. These are private keys that you definitely want to write down and store in a safe place, preferably in a safe. If you have a safety deposit box, you may want to keep it in the safety deposit box and in a safe. There is a lot of new technology and um, assets or resources, if you will, that have come online recently to help you keep private. We can definitely come back and dive deeply into, what are the ways to secure your private keys and your information around, you're keeping your wallet safe and always having access to them. I do want you to note, never share your private keys. If someone has access to those private keys, they can always just download that same wallet, input your private keys, and have access to all of that information, really your coins, okay? Send is where you send from. Receive is the address that you provide to receive your crypto, namely Guap Coin. I'm going to use Guap Coin as the crypto that we're speaking about, okay? So step 2, in terms of being a merchant, is sign up right here on that same Guap Coin page where those 3 lines are. There's a merchant tab. You want to click on that merchant tab, and it's going to bring you to a page that has this image here and a form. And you want to fill that out, your name of your business, your contact name, your web address, phone number, email. It allows you to upload an image, your logo, and submit that information, and you'll be added to the Guap directory. Do keep in mind, we're actually creating a whole new space for our Guap merchants. But in the meantime, before that comes online, we do have a directory, and in that tab right under sign up is the directory, and you can see a list of some of our Guap merchants. We are migrating over to the new space though, so they're not all listed there. Step 3 was hang your Guap sign. So one of the persons a part of the core team, he's also the vice president of marketing, created guappromo.org. There are animated videos there. You can get the actual official Guap logo there, as well as logos that say you accept Guap. So you can add this to your digital space. You can have a printer print this out and laminate it, or incorporate it however you see fit within your advertising of your business. Step 4 is to accept Guap Coin for purchases. There are options here. There are options here, people. My favorite way to accept Guap is wallet to wallet. I tell people all the time, just create a wallet, accept Guap for a service or good. Give them your wallet address. They send you the Guap. It's easy peasy. You've now accepted Guap for a service or a good. You don't have to necessarily go on an exchange and buy Guap to receive your first Guap. You can just download that wallet, offer a service, offer a good, get paid in Guap. There are many people within the Guap community, including myself, who has Guap Coin, who wants to support businesses and shop with Guap. The other option is a WordPress plugin. We have a WordPress plugin. This is what it looks like. It is a part of when you go to the WordPress site and you go to plugins, you want to look for Bitcoin, altcoin payment gateway for WooCommerce and multi-vendor stores, /shop. And that's how you get our plugin. We do have a video. You can find it on Facebook in Guap Academy that shows how to utilize this plugin. My screen keeps changing. Sorry about that. So how does it work? The plugin provides 2 options. Okay, one is a manual option, the other one is an automatic option. So when someone places an order, and pays for the product, you're going to need to check your cryptocurrency address. You're going to need to check your wallet, is what they're saying, to confirm you've received the payment or not. This order will be in a hold position in the store and it's free. So basically, they go to checkout, the plugin comes up, it's going to say send X amount of Guap to this address. Then there's the automatic option. This option is a paid version and it will be automatically verified. So you don't need to check it manually. You can set the order status from the settings options. You can set it to on hold, completed, whatever, works for your business plan. Then there's CoinPayments. This is what the CoinPayments website looks like. I'm going to, excuse me. Okay, so this is what the CoinPayments website looks like. By the way, I removed the floating taskbar, so I cannot see the comments, but I will check back in shortly to see if you guys have any questions, okay? And I'm just going to show you a little bit of what CoinPayments looks like under the hood as you're signing up. Definitely, you have the option to create a personal or business account. For the purposes of this presentation, we're going to look at the business account, okay? So I pre-filled some of the inputs just for example space. For example, so this is the name of the business or what your login is, what you want to have to identify your business. Your email address, your password, who the business contact person is, what country the business is registered in. It has a list of categories of whether you're a traditional retailer, whether you are providing art, or all the different things that you can be as a business. Select your category, select your time zone, check the boxes, verify that you're human, and register. Once you've registered, you're going to get this page that says step 2 is complete and that they've sent you an email. That email needs to be verified. So you want to go to the email address that you provided and click the link and verify that you are you and that you received it. It was a proper email address, things of that nature. Once that happens, you're going to get this page that says step 3, login. You've been activated. You'll get a login page. You're going to put either that email address or the username that you provided, your password, and login. There is a 2-factor authentication process. So when you hit that login, it's going to actually send a code to the email that you provided. It's not the first set of numbers that you see at the beginning of the email. It's actually in the body of the email, and it is case sensitive. So you may want to copy and paste it. Once you've done that, this is what you're going to see. It'll give you the option as a merchant or a wallet. So you could use CoinPayments as a wallet as well. However, we're going to set it up for a merchant. CoinPayments has a lot of coins that you can accept. What coins you choose to accept, that's up to you. However, I like to go to this section 2, which is recommended, and it allows you to manually enable the coins you want to accept. This is what it's going to look like when you click on that option 2. It starts out with Bitcoin, and there are a lot of coins here. You want to go down to Guap Coin, and you want to check the box. It's going to also give you some different options. This is based on your business needs. Remember at the beginning of this presentation, presentation, I said, I am not a tax accountant. I'm not an accountant. I'm not your financial advisor. These are things that would be a part of your business plan, right? We're having a high level conversation today. You want to update your coin preference. And once that's done, it's going to say coin preference updated. So now you're ready to accept Guap Coin. It's really that simple. Definitely, CoinPayments has other features that you can do. Remember at the beginning where I said that username, you want to use something that identifies your business? Well, it has a pay by name. Instead of you having to provide this long wallet address that CoinPayments would have created or uniquely to your account, you can use that. For example, it was winning key, right? You can create a pay by name. It has some different options. You do send crypto to set this up. I'm not going to go into it today. We can always come back and dive deeper into the options that CoinPayments provides, as well as, you can go to Guap Academy and we have videos online there. You can actually go to CoinPayments, YouTube, and their frequently asked questions to get into the weeds of all the different options that you have with CoinPayments. So let's go back to the different steps and let's look at step 5. Step 5 is hold your Guap, convert it. There are some options down here in terms of USD, BTC. So USD is the US dollar, BTC is the call letters for Bitcoin, TRX is the call letters for Tron, and USDT. I have these two listed here because we are actually in the process of being paired with them. So that means that you can easily, on the exchange that we will be listed on, exchange, go back and forth, right? However, I do want you to keep this in mind. For the most part, most cryptos can be exchanged for one another. There's really only two ways to get crypto to crypto or fiat to crypto. So fiat to crypto is I use my USD to purchase that crypto. Some exchanges don't even give you that option, right? Especially once you get into the decentralized space. Or you can use different payment gateways to do USD to crypto. The way that I like to get crypto as well as peer-to-peer. We have Guap Swap, which is a place where people who hold Guap swap for USD or other cryptos, right? Offline, it doesn't happen on an exchange. So this is what I'm explaining here, right? So a lot of crypto is actually exchanged offline. It's not necessarily on these exchanges that you see. So let's just review again, step 5. You can hold your Guap, right? You can keep it in a wallet, HODL, that's what people say. You can do a peer-to-peer exchange. You can go to a place like Guap Swap on Telegram or reach out to someone that you know that is looking for Guap and say, hey, I have some Guap. Would you like to exchange it for USD at whatever price you say, right? Usually it's in line with what price Guap is being offered on the exchanges. But the great thing about crypto is you set your price, right? If someone wants to pay you $100 for Guap, take it, right? So, and then there's the exchanges. With a peer-to-peer, it's usually Cash App or PayPal. It happens in person or it happens online. That's something that you have to do at your own discretion. There are websites that provide like an intermediary for peer-to-peer. Definitely read the frequently asked questions and how that ecosystem works before you just decide to exchange your USD for cryptocurrency with a stranger. Within the Guap community, what I can say is that most of the persons that are offering Guap are Guap governors, which means they have masternodes and we'll get more into that. They're definitely, you know, trusted. I'm doing air quotes. So that's the peer-to-peer way of getting crypto. Like I said, you can hold it in your wallet and you can exchange it for goods and services with other merchants within the Guap community and the Guap ecosystem. Or you can go to an exchange and put up a sell order for however many Guap coins you want to sell at whatever price, right? With exchanges, it's not usually instant unless someone is, buying at market price and it's, your market price is up next in the queue. So you might have to be patient, when engaging with an exchange. Currently, we have a nurse that accepts Guap for consults. We have an attorney that accepts partial payment for Guap. And the reason it's partial is because, if he has to file something that's done in USD and that's where you would be paying your USD. However, if you, for his consult, he takes Guap. We have graphic designers, we have insurance, we have a bookstore, we have custom clothes. I mean, you name it, someone is offering it within the Guap community. Most recently, we had a woman business come online in the Philippines. She has a zero waste grocery store. She actually has six, and they're expanding into other countries. And she is accepting Guap for groceries. So, as you can see, whatever your business is, you have the ability to accept Guap and or other cryptocurrencies for your service and or good. Now you decide, how much Guap you want to keep on your balance sheet. Those are not things that we can discuss with you. Again, that's a conversation you want to have with your trusted financial advisor, CPA, accountant, bookkeeper, whoever you discuss those things with. Okay. Step 6. Okay, so I do apologize. This is actually the exchange that we're on, Probit. We are going on a new exchange, but I won't be letting that cat out of the bag today. Please do go to our socials, which I will share with you to be updated on all the new happenings at Guap Coin and at the Guap Foundation. But step 6. Step 6 is integrate Guap Coin and the Guap community into your business plan. Whatever that looks like for you, right? And that's something that, we can't tell you how to do. However, I can say join our Telegram group. It's at Guap Coin. I'll definitely show that to you shortly. We have a Facebook group. These are places where you can definitely communicate with people in the community. There are different teams. You can become an ambassador for Guap Coin. The marketing group is media. There's, a merchant community. So there are different spaces that you can also become more intimately acquainted with and active within. However you want to market, it's up to you. This is a decentralized community. You don't need anyone's permission here. Participate in events like Guap Friday. Create your own event and get other merchants involved. What I love about the Guap community is that we have a plethora of different personalities and different experiences, professional and otherwise. Really warm community as well. People are definitely willing to help and show you around. Remember, Guap is a decentralized community, so the sky is the limit as to what you decide to do as a Guap merchant. It's really only limited to your imagination. I'm going to give you some quick facts about Guap Coin. I would say it's a quick fact that Guap is quickly becoming the real Black dollar with, merchants coming on and the community growing, wallets being created daily. Many people are not only recognizing Guap as kind of the mother of Black and brown cryptos, um, it's, and a trusted community. Those are two things that I can definitely say about Guap Coin. Currently, there's over 25 million Guap in circulation. I can check out Guap Explorer to tell you what the Guap Coin number is specifically today. However, some of those coins are locked away in what's called masternodes, which Krishna alluded to earlier, and I'm going to show you one. So while there is probably closer to 30 million Guap in circulation, the blockchain, right, has created over 40 million Guap. Some of those are just locked to create the masternodes. We have over 1,100 masternodes online. That is tremendous spending power, governance, right? And so I spoke about our Guap Explorer. That's where you can go to see actually the transactions that happen across our public blockchain. This is some of our socials, right? This is info at guapfoundation.org. You can always send an email here. We have the guapfoundation.org website, guapcoin.org, where you can find frequently asked questions, how to get the wallets, who our team is, right? You'll see my picture there on the foundation and on Guap Coin, along with many others. These are our socials: IG, Twitter, Telegram. As I stated, at Guap Coin is where you can find us using IG, Twitter, or Telegram. We're at Guap Coin Official on Facebook, and we have a YouTube channel, which is Guap Coin Official. So I'm going to pause. I know I've been speaking for about an hour now. I've given you guys a lot of information about how to become a Guap merchant. I'm going to check and see if there are any questions, and then I'll show you the masternode.
Maven, would you like for me to read the questions for you?
Sure.
Okay, so one of the first questions that came in asks, is the Guap coin just for the Black consumer base?
We say Guap is good use for all people, right? So anyone and everyone can utilize Guap. Guap is a very welcoming community. What we understand, though, is that within Black and brown communities, we have certain specific requirements, right? We have a lot of immigrants, we have a lot of unbanked and underbanked, we have some financially uneducated. So specifically at the Guap Foundation, what we are doing is bridging those gaps, right? We're providing education about cryptocurrency, blockchain, what's happening within fintech, how you, if you are underbanked or unbanked, can actually use cryptocurrency, in your everyday lives. We are also empowering these businesses within the Black and brown communities. These communities tend to be marginalized, not necessarily have the same access that other communities have. And so this is the focus, if you will. However, it does not exclude anyone from utilizing Guap Coin or supporting the Guap community. I think, whether you're Black or brown, being an ally to those that are disenfranchised or underserved, is just a part of being a human being. For me, as I said, this presentation was going to be colored with me and my experiences. So no, Guap Coin is not just for Black and brown. However, it is definitely to empower and support these communities.
Awesome. The other question, it was related to one of the slides that you had up. They weren't sure which option was the multi-wallet.
Okay, so the newer wallet is the multi-wallet, and it does, I believe, say Bitcoin multi-wallet. I can actually check my Play Store. I downloaded my wallet a while ago. When you go to register, it's going to look very much like you're signing up for, let's say, a Gmail account. So it says Guap, official Guap coin and Bitcoin wallet. She Interactive LLC is provided by a third party. I can actually show it to you. I don't know if you can see it in the camera.
I think you would have to stop your screen share if you were putting it in the camera.
Okay. Let's get that. Here we go. Okay. Can you see it now? Come back. It's not as clear. It's a little bright.
Yeah, it might be better. We might have to send it out after the presentation. When we send out the video, maybe we can take a screenshot of that and share that out with the answer to the question.
Definitely. And I'm going to be putting together some links for you to share with the audience.
Awesome. And one of the other questions was, can Guap coin be white labeled?
We keep getting this question. I think you can see it now. So I would say reach out to, info at Guap Coin. You can send it specifically to Maven, Maven at guapcoin.org. And we can discuss how you can integrate Guap Coin for your needs. I would definitely have to speak to you to understand what you're looking to do to really answer that question. There are some things that are happening for Guap that is going to allow us to move across chain, if you will. So that's being used in different blockchain ecosystems or as a token, if you will. We are a coin. And so there are tokens, there are stable coins, there are utility tokens. I didn't want to really dive down that deep rabbit hole. Today, I'm hoping that, as we do more of these educational series, we can get into the weeds on some of these things. But if you are looking to white label, that is more of a token, and we can discuss that by you reaching out to the Guap Foundation.
Thank you so much for answering that question. The other question that we had is, how much is the paid version of the WordPress plugin that you went over?
Ooh, I don't want to tell you something that is not true. It's WordPress, so I'm going to say it's probably relatively inexpensive. I do not have experience with the paid version. Um, I don't know if Jerome is online. He may have the answer to the paid one, but the free version is free. And I do know, and I'm seeing a message from one of our amazing merchants, which is Key Bookstore. It's a Black-owned bookstore, which is in Hartford. She was one of the first people to test out our WordPress plugin, and that is free, and it worked pretty fine for her. So you may not even need the paid version.
Awesome. And the last question that we had is, what are the CoinPayment transaction fees?
Definitely delve into CoinPayments frequently asked questions. CoinPayments has different options as to whether or not they're going to swap it out for you directly. So I want you to answer that question for yourself and whether that makes sense for you. You could not swap it out and actually keep it in your wallet. So, you know, it would behoove you as a merchant to go into the frequently asked questions on CoinPayments. Depending on how you set up your CoinPayments is going to depend on what your fees look like. However, Guap to send it is very inexpensive to send it back and forth.
Thank you so much, Maven. That was all of the questions that we had in the Q&A and that I saw in the chat. Definitely want to thank the Keystone Bookstore for answering a lot of the questions as well. If you would like to give final remarks, we can, after your final remarks, we'll pass it back over to Regina for a formal closeout.
Okay, cool. Yes, Key Bookstore in Hartford, Connecticut. She's also going to be a part of our Indiegogo campaign. I will definitely share the image with you for that, and we will include that in our presentation, in the documentation and resources that we provide to the Chamber of Commerce. I did promise you guys, if you have a moment, that I would actually show you what a wallet looks like and what a masternode looks like. I believe we were going to be here until 6, but if we're wrapping up early, I could skip that part. Alicia?
Sorry, I was on mute. No, you can go over the next part before we wrap up.
Okay, great. So I am going to open this Guap wallet if you give me a moment. And I'm going to answer some questions about masternodes. I didn't want to, like I said, bog you down with too much information. However, Krishna did mention the masternodes, and it is one of the things that makes Guapcoin quite unique is that we have masternodes. And masternodes are like a treasury, if you will. They produce what are called block rewards and staking rewards. So I'm going to open this wallet. This is actually a new masternode. Let's see. That was recently put online. As you can see, it's syncing. And this is what a desktop wallet looks like. So, oh, look at that. We just got a masternode reward. So we all love to hear the sound of masternodes coming, of rewards coming into the masternodes. So this is what your desktop wallet is going to look like. If you have a masternode, you'll see where it says masternode rewards and they're coming in. This is a masternode here and it's enabled. So I'm going to show you. If you were sending Guap to someone, you would place their address here, the amount that you want to send, and then you can label it, right? So that you know what you did the transaction for. And this is what I like about the desktop wallet. You don't have that option with the mobile wallet. And, since we're talking about merchants and, your accounting and things of that nature, I like the desktop wallet. So even if you don't have a masternode, you're saying, hey, I'm just going to start with doing accepting payments through wallets, I don't want to say recommend, but you may want to consider downloading a desktop wallet. Okay, and then if you are receiving, we talked about the receiving address, you want to provide this address and you can just simply copy it and give it, provide it to that person, whether it's in an email or across like an encrypted service like Telegram. And you want to tell them to copy it as opposed to trying to write it out, because if you put in the wrong address, it's going somewhere else and you can't get it back, right? Crypto doesn't have, the customer service and all of the built-in um, support systems that you may be used to in traditional banking. You are your own bank, so you are responsible for double checking. One of my friends laughs at me. He's like, your process with crypto is so long because I check and double check. I make sure, let me check the first five, let's say, letters or numbers of the address, and the last four or five, even after I've checked it again before I hit that send button, right? And so that's the case if you're sending here. And if you're receiving, you want to make sure that you provided the address. I may say, hey, send me the address that you're going to send it to. And then I check again, right? You can generate an address, a different one if you want to do that. And then you can actually, so I just created this one. It doesn't have a label, so I can edit the label here. And we're going to say test chambers. I'm going to save it. And now we have that very specific wallet address. Okay. You can save contacts here, person's name, or however you want to identify them, and their wallet address for easy reference and access in the future if you're doing, multiple or recurring transactions with them. Again, as I mentioned, this is where your masternodes will be listed. If you have what is a traditional masternode, and that's you spinning up a masternode yourself and or having someone spin it up for you. We do have other options within our community like Grow Your Guap and Guap Pools. Those are not traditional masternodes, those are self-hosted. And so just like the over-the-air password with our wallet and or Grow Your Guap or the masternode pools, as I stated, the foundation recognized that our community needs certain tools, if you will, to on ramp into the crypto space. So starting out, let's say with seed phrases, if you don't really understand how to utilize a wallet, you might lose them and get locked out. We don't want that. We want you to be able to get into the crypto space easily and effortlessly. I don't know what happened to my words just now. And so that you can grow from there, right? And then you can get into more sophisticated or advanced ways of utilizing cryptocurrency. So Grow Your Guap is there. Guap Pools is there. However, what I have and what many, definitely all of our core team members and many people within the Guap community have are our own masternodes. And those you will find on your desktop wallet. And it's going to come directly into that masternode, right? Cold staking is an option as well, where you can actually, so let's go back. So I'm going to go to the home. I'm going to show you masternode rewards. As you can see right now, our protocol is set to receive 20 Guap rewards. We are going to have what's called a halving, which is going to reduce the amount of Guap coin that's received. And that happens on a schedule. That's the same thing with Bitcoin. You can look up what block reward schedules are. So these are what come from the blockchain for supporting. Remember, I spoke about the disbursement of the information in the packets, right? And so by having this computer and saying, hey, I want to support the blockchain, I want to secure the blockchain, I am given, if you will, or rewarded these rewards, and they started out at 50 with the Genesis block, which was the first block. And when we had our first halving, they went down to 20. And then with this next halving, they're going to go down again, right? So that's one part of what happens. You get the block rewards. Then you have the option to do what's called staking. Now, there are different ways that you can stake. Staking only happens within the desktop wallet. You cannot stake within your mobile wallets. Okay, so this is actually what cold staking looks like. You don't necessarily need to cold stake to stake, but what you do need is a minimum of 1,000 Guap coins in a wallet. So this wallet address, we go here, are receiving these staking rewards. And you can see here where it says the amount that's unlocked, that's coming all into one wallet. If you look at coin control, you can actually see that they're going to the same wallet. Okay. I'm going to close. They're all coming into that same wallet. Once this gets up to 1,000, if we were just regular staking, right, which is what's called the hot wallet when the wallet is open, it will start to attract, if you will, what's called staking rewards. So those are separate than the masternode rewards, right? So since they're not 1,000 Guap points in this wallet, you're not seeing the staking rewards there. In order to receive staking rewards this way, this wallet has to be open on a desktop computer. Now we have the option to cold stake, which this wallet actually is doing. And the wallet doesn't have to be open in order for it to actually start attracting cold staking rewards. This has received a cold staking reward. That's why you're seeing the 499, because it was 1,099 that was put into the cold staking wallet. So it has received a cold staking reward. Now, there's a difference between the block rewards and the cold staking rewards as to how they are dispersed. Block rewards, every masternode that's on the chain gets a masternode reward, and it has to go through every masternode before it starts over again. And that's how masternode rewards are dispersed. So if I'm, we have over 1,100. So if I am, 1,000 in the chain of masternodes, then every masternode before me has to get a masternode reward. And then when I get a masternode reward, the process, I go to the bottom and it starts all over. So, and that happens every 60 seconds. And as more masternodes come online, obviously the frequency of the disbursement of those masternode rewards becomes further apart. With staking, it works a little different, okay? The more Guap you have, the more Guap points you have in your wallet, the frequency of you receiving staking rewards increases. Now, the Masternode rewards support the blockchain. The staking rewards actually support the transactions going back and forth between wallet to wallet. So you can not have a masternode, which you would require you to have 10,000 Guap coins. You see where it says locked included in this amount here, right? So the 10,000 Guap coins are collateral, right? And they're put up to support the blockchain and the disbursement of that data and the consensus going back and forth under our proof of stake protocol. And then the staking rewards support the transactions and the speed and all of those things of them going back and forth from wallet to wallet. And that's 5 right now. Currently 5 Guap coins is what you get for staking. You can stake with your wallet open on your desktop. It doesn't have to be cold staked. The more Guap you have in the wallet, the more likely you'll be chosen to receive staking rewards and the frequency in which you get them, right? or you can co-stake it and the same applies. But with the master nodes, it goes through a list, and you can see that on the block reward on the block explorer, excuse me. So every blockchain has what's called the block explorer, and that block explorer is the ledger we talked about that has the debits and credits and the transactions, and you'll see the masternode rewards and the staking rewards. Or if I sent Regina 100 guap, and Regina sent Krishna 50, and then Krishna said, hey, I'm going to send Felicia 20 guap, you would see all of those entries, those credits and debits on the blockchain. So you can see here where it says staking rewards 5. And that's basically it in regards to what the inside of a Guap wallet looks like on a desktop, what the masternode looks like, and how it works. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, so I can see your question, Justin. There is a guide. You can get it on the GitHub. We also have our own, if you will, GitHub, and it is GitLab. And I can definitely make sure that it is included in the resources that is provided to the Chamber of Commerce that will be provided to you. Alita, I hope I said your name correctly. So what is cold staking? Cold staking is basically another server that allows you to receive those rewards while having your wallet offline, right? If this wallet was not cold staking, then I would need to keep the wallet open. And I've done that, right? I've had masternodes where I kept the collateral, the over 1,000, 1,000 plus 5,000, however many guap I had at the time, in a wallet, just like I'm showing you here, where it says down here at the bottom, unlocked from remaining, and I showed you in the control panel, these wallet addresses are all the same, right? This is the address it came into. So this adds up to 160 here. When that goes over 1,000, what'll happen is it'll enact or activate, if you will, the staking mechanism. As long as my computer is open, eventually I will start to get staking rewards. The thing with staking rewards, though, is that the more guap you have, the more likely it is for you to get staking rewards. Now, if we had less masternodes online, then that frequency with a smaller amount of guap would increase, right? The staking rewards is different than the masternode rewards, where the masternode rewards, every masternode has to get a block reward before the next, it goes on and on, right? With the staking, though, that's not how that works. It has to do with the amount. The more guap you have in that wallet, the more likely you are to get staking rewards. I'm not saying that, obviously, this wallet is a very new wallet that came online. It did receive staking rewards, right? It received staking rewards uh, on the 20th, right? And as what we call sweep, I'm going to take the 160 that's unlocked and I'm going to put it in here. And as it builds up, it'll attract more staking rewards more frequently, right? So that's how staking works. And then cold staking is just a method that allows you to get staking rewards while not having to have your computer or your desktop wallet, excuse me, open and online. I hope that answers your question. Is this similar to bit mining? Okay, so I believe you're asking about mining in general, like Bitcoin mining versus Guap coin mining, if you will, right? So Bitcoin uses what's called proof of work protocol. It uses electricity. It's these very complicated mathematical equations that are being solved. There is consensus, and there is some with Bitcoin, like how transactions are processed, they can choose and various things, and that's the same with Ethereum. So yes, it is mining, but it's not proof of work mining, right? This is what's called proof of stake. So proof of stake uses the computing power. It does use some mathematical equations and consensus, um, but it doesn't require the same um, amount of electricity and things of that nature to actually solve to create the mining. But it is a form of mining, yes. Yes, it is. It's just a different protocol for mining than Bitcoin. Does that answer your question? I'm trying to keep this really simple and in general terms and things that everyone can understand. So I believe, Roderick, you said that that does answer your question. Masternodes are great. They're a treasury, right? We talk about being your own bank in cryptocurrency. So yes, having a mobile wallet, having a desktop wallet, having the ability to send coins from one person to the other, um, definitely is a way of being your own bank. However, I would definitely say having a master node is the ability to be your own treasury, right? So whether I am awake or sleeping, whether the computer's on or not, I am still in the lineup to get my Masternode rewards. Those are going to come into my wallet. As you can see, we heard the chimes when I opened the wallet. It happens to be getting some rewards at the time, right? And so I not only do I have the ability to be my own bank and transact and, send currency from person to person without a third party, and I can cross borders without, paying a fee that's exuberant or possibly not even being able to send it because of whatever geopolitical situation is going on. That person just needs to download a Guap wallet and I can send them, Guap, right? Or vice versa, they can send me Guap. However, I also, in having these masternodes and those of us that have masternodes, we are a treasury, and we have funds coming to us. These Black rewards are coming, you know, daily, and as more masternodes come online, that may become more infrequent. However, that's okay, right? It's still passive income that's coming in that I can use to shop with other Guap merchants. So, your own bank, your own treasury. And then one of the really great things, I did speak about governance and decentralization, right? Is that what we are in the process with a new update that is happening is really exciting, is that we can, as a governor, as someone who has a masternode, I can put a proposal on the blockchain, right? Then for example, we talked about the gaming grant that was awarded. I could say, hey, I have an idea, I'd like to do X. And then I put up some collateral and I put up a proposal and I say, do you guys think this is a great idea? If so, vote yes in favor. If you don't, then, vote no against it, right? And therefore, from the Treasury, because one of the things that's happening with this upgrade is that the Treasury now will be getting block rewards. I could say, hey, and I'd like 500 Guap to get this done. Do you vote in favor of me getting $500 Guap, 500 Guap, excuse me, to do this. And if everyone or a certain number and consensus says yes, then I'm rewarded that 500 Guap. My proposal is passed, right? And so that is also a great thing about having a masternode and being a part of the governance body of Guap is that you get to influence what happens. Our community members, whether they have masternodes or not, we definitely, it's a decentralized community, so they also get to create whatever they want to create as well. You know, nobody needs permission to go and open a Guap store or create a software for Guap, especially if it does not affect the blockchain. If you wanted to do something as it relates to the blockchain, then you would need to put that proposal up, right, with that collateral and say, hey, Guap governors, community of governance of Guap, what do you think about this? This is what I'm looking to do, right? And so that's the beauty and the power in being a part of a decentralized community, about of the power in having a masternode and being a governor, right? And so these are some of the unique things about Guap Coin is not only do we, you know, what we are doing with the foundation and, you know, with our merchants and, you know, those things, but also the governance aspect and having the master nodes and the stake and rewards. Some communities have stake and rewards, some communities don't. Some communities have master nodes, some communities don't, right? And so we have mass nodes, staking rewards, and an amazing community and some really awesome merchants. Can Guap transactions ever be taxed? Whew. Did you miss my disclaimer? So, like I said, I am not a CPA. I'm not an accountant. I am not your legal advisor. What I can tell you is that the IRS has made a decision on cryptocurrency, and you can read that on their website. So, I would definitely refer you there. Um, and what I would also say is that crypto to crypto, right? If you are utilizing crypto and sending it to other merchants, it's in the crypto space, right? And so please refer to whatever your country's version of the IRS is to answer that question. To possibly speak to a crypto friendly CPA or accountant. That would be my recommendation. Um, I, though I, you know what the IRS site says about crypto, I don't want to answer that any further. I hope that's okay with you. And this is my last tidbit and takeaway, and then I'll answer any questions that anyone has about masternodes or anything that I have gone over today. This for me is a really exciting space. You know, I learned about Bitcoin in 2009. I happened to be in Atlanta at the time, and I think it was serendipitous because I am a resident of New York, and I don't know if you know anything about New York, but New York has really strict rules around crypto, and basically a lot of things that we could talk about today excludes New York, right? So I happened to be in Atlanta, and the certain things were happening, vending machines and um, Bitcoin was on the topic, and um, it, it was just, it was meant for me to be there. And I didn't even consider like how to acquire Bitcoin. I was really into the blockchain aspect of it. Like there was something about this blockchain that for me was like, this is bigger than the internet or just as big as the internet. And that's really where I spent most of my time, right? Is looking at the blockchain. I ended up getting into what's called folding, which is a form of mining with Stanford University and their Cure Coin. I want to say by like 2014, 2015, I was doing that and then, you know, acquiring cryptos or whatever. It takes the willingness to do it. Start. You can't break the internet. You know, you start with a couple of dollars right? And figure it out. Just like you would invest in your college education or anything that you want to learn in, it takes a little form of investment, whether it's putting up a little coin, and definitely some time, but trying, right? That's one of the first things that I want you to take away. Try it, explore it. Definitely, whoever that person was that decided to, take that Bitcoin for pizza, I think it worked out pretty well for them. So as a merchant, if you're considering accepting Guap coin, try it. You have a great merchant here with a lot of experience, which is Key Bookstore, and she's can be found in Telegram and other places. And ask questions, and we'll be doing series and talking to our merchants so they can share more about their experience. I find that within, Black and Brown communities, the responsibility, keeping up with your keys and your passwords and all of those things seem really overwhelming. And for me, like I said, a part of this presentation will be colored with my own personal experiences and opinions. I find that because in our communities, when things don't go right, they go really bad, right? Like it can be death, it can be jail. The circumstances of what the turnout is when the things don't go right tend to be pretty dire. And so I think, in my opinion, is why many people that look like me and others on this presentation, on this webinar, kind of shy away from it, is because they don't want that responsibility. It's not as bad. Like I said, I would love to come back and talk to you about proper ways of storing your keys and your passwords and how to keep your crypto safe. But you can also look that up online. You can go to the Guap Academy, and get more information about that. So don't let fear stop you from learning more. There's so many different spaces that you can go in crypto, right? There is the trading aspect of it. There is the metaverse where you have, real estate that you can acquire, and there are domains, and there is the smart contract side of it. And many of you may have heard about NFTs, right? I mean, there's so many different areas. There's the software, there's the hardware, you name it, there are the services that are going to be built on top of this virtual world. So anything that we have now in our analog and digital space is in the virtual world, is being ushered into the virtual world. You can be a part of that. You can do that. So that's definitely a takeaway that I would hope that you would consider. And then lastly, and to me, really importantly, is that there are a lot of companies that, their names are recognizable, right? And so we trust them. Please make sure that if they're telling you they have crypto available, right, you're purchasing crypto on this site, that there are some things that are there. Most importantly, a wallet and an ability for you to move said crypto off of that platform. If there is no wallet for you to move said crypto, then there is no crypto for you. You are participating in the value of that cryptocurrency. You do not have cryptocurrency. And the great thing about crypto is, though it is virtual and it seems intangible, it is tangible. It is something that can be moved. On the IRS website, it is referred to as property, right? So please, crypto safely. Make sure that you have a wallet wherever you are engaging so that you can take your crypto with you. I do see a question that asked about an external USB wallet, which is considered a hard wallet. Currently, we are in the process of being integrated into a hard wallet. It is not online yet, but it is coming. We are actually being integrated into a lot of different spaces right now. As I stated, cryptocurrency this is software and technology. It takes time and it actually takes development, right? Our founder, Savannah Evans, has created a lot of the resources, but she can't do it alone. And so it is important, and something that I like to stress, and I would definitely say that the Guap Foundation is about, is take your seat at the table. Bring your expertise. If you are a software developer, if you're a hardware developer, if you are a merchant, if you have great marketing skills, if you understand, you know, taxes, right? If you are a tax accountant and you are crypto friendly, you are an asset not only to the crypto universe, or you could be an asset to the Guap ecosystem. So I would like to say welcome, right? Please join the Guap community. It is a great community of people who are warm, they're ready to help, they are diverse in their experiences and what they can share. So yes, and then the last question you have is, can you use your virtual wallet similarly to a regular wallet? Okay, so I'm not exactly sure what you mean about your regular wallet versus your virtual wallet. If you're speaking about a desktop wallet, as I said, you can actually create labels within it. If you're talking about the mobile wallet, it is a multi-wallet. So currently it's integrated with Bitcoin. So you can store your Bitcoin there as well as your Guap coin. And we will be integrating within other wallets where you can actually add other cryptos. We are pairing with other cryptos. So that's going to be necessary um, as well. But yeah, you can use your Guap the same way you can use USD if that's also a part of your question. You know, just like you would pay, like I said, we have a nurse. You can, see the nurse. You can see the attorney. You can pay for your life insurance. You can get shoes. You can go grocery shopping. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can use Guap Coin. And like I said earlier, it's really your imagination as to how far we as a community can go. You know, any more questions?
Maven, thank you so much for your presentation. It was amazing, and it looks like people really were engaged with all of the great questions that they had. I know that you and I will connect, and we will be sending out an email to everyone that will include a recording of today's session so that people can do playback. And Maven is also going to share with me a lot of the information and the external links for us to share out as well for people to reference. Maven, if you wanted to just drop the information in the chat again, if anyone, I know you kept referring to an email address, if anyone has any additional or specific questions, if you can drop in the chat exactly where they can send those emails to.
Sure. I'm going to share it with you.
And I am going to ask Regina to join us again.
Oh my goodness. I just want to echo what Felicia said. This has been an amazing, informative presentation. So thank you so much to Maven Muse and the Guap Foundation. Thank you to our sponsors, the AACC Foundation, and thank you to Felicia Harris, High Touch Enterprises, for another great AA